In the news at noon, Akwa State Governor Udom Emmanuel calls for decentralisation of Nigeria Police Force. Corporate Minds Akwa State felicitates Chairman of Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria Godwin Archibong on achievements in office. Uyo-based constitutional lawyer Aniefiok Ukpe urges federal and state governments to uphold independence of judiciary as arm of government. On the foreign scene, French President Emmanuel Macron to meet his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan ahead of next week's NATO summit. In sport, Akwa United records 3-1 victory over Heartland FC of Owerri on match day 26 of Nigeria Professional Football League. Our spotlight after the news is on the 2-year scorecard of Honorable Idem, member representing Ukanafun Oroganam Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. My name is Xavier Robert. First in the news this afternoon is a report that Akwa State Governor Udom Emmanuel has advocated the decentralisation of the police force as part of measures to curtail the rising insecurity in parts of the country. The governor, who made his position known when he granted audience to the leadership of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) South-South Zone at Government House Uyo, however, called for concomitant budgetary provisions for states to properly fund the security architecture to ensure the protection of lives and property of the citizens. Governor Emmanuel reiterated his call on the National Assembly to expedite action on the passage of the Electoral Bill and the Petroleum Industry Bill, which he said was more important to the people of the South-South region.
The issue of state police, we've raised this over and over again. If the center, they want to shift the responsibility, let them give us the responsibility and give us the money and give us the appetite, not just giving us responsibility. Just decentralize and then also give us the money. The money you're taking to fund security, at the end of the day, the burden still comes back to us in the state. So give us that money and then decentralize these things. These are issues that can be sorted out much easier than the way we make it sound. It's just the sincerity that is a problem.
The governor, who decried the harsh economic environment Nigerians have been subjected to in recent years, expressed hope that Nigerians would be given the enabling environment to elect leaders of their choice who can revive the economy for the good of all Nigerians. He therefore called on the party executives to remain loyal to the party. Earlier in his remark, the PDP National Vice Chairman South-South, Dan Obe, called on the governors of the South-South Zone to initiate processes for legislation to support the resolution of the southern governors banning open grazing. Obi, who decried the rising insecurity in parts of the country, also charged the South-South governors to push for the establishment of state police to protect the people of the region.
You have our full support, and the governors of the South-South who joined in the historic meeting at Asaba and made the bold declaration that banned open grazing in this part of our country. We urge you to initiate a bill that will give legal force to that declaration. We want to urge you to join hands with your colleagues in the South-South to push for the establishment of state police. We have our destiny in our hands, and we must do everything possible to protect our people.
The PDP chieftain commended the governor for his development strides in the past years in the state, despite the harsh economic situation of the country. Away from that, the Corporate Minds Club, Akwa State, have identified with the chairman and executives of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, Akwa State Council, for the union's immense contributions to ensuring effective healthcare delivery in the state. This was conveyed when the vice president of the club, Engineer Okonya, led other executive members of the club on a courtesy visit to the chairman of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, Comrade Godwin Archibong, at the Union State Secretariat located at Ikolegbene Road, Uyo, who extended the regards of the president of the club and vice chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Nyaudo Ndayo, to the union. In an address, said that Comrade Archibong had achieved many feats, such as the agitation for successful payment of conhes to health workers in the state, among others.
We formally congratulate you on your election and subsequent inauguration as chairman, Medical and Health Workers Union, Akwa United. We commend you on this particular effort you have expended to drive the Health Workers Union in the state. Your election to the apex of the Health Workers Union underscores your unwavering commitment to the ideals of the health personnel in the country. Worthy to mention the robust interventions of medical and health personnel in the fight against COVID-19 and other pandemic lend credence to your achievements.
In his response, the union chairman, Comrade Archibong, who attributed the accomplishments recorded by the union under his leadership to the unity and harmony by the executive members, noted that the visit by the Corporate Minds Club, where he serves as the director of socials, was exceptional, and used the occasion to invite the Corporate Minds Club to the foundation laying ceremony for the construction of the permanent state secretariat for the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Council.
Let me say that my executive here, they are working in harmony. They prepare with me, as you can see, my secretary from Benilang. I used to call him one man squad. You can't joke with him. He's the brain behind the success of our own union in this state, especially the payment of honors in our private state. I'll give it to him. My PRO is okay. Then my trustee, others, they have other engagement. There's no problem here in this office. So thank you very much for the honor. Let me use this opportunity to invite you officially to our own groundbreaking foundation laying ceremony of our own permanent state secretariat. That will take place on June 24.
Our correspondent Anthony Essen reports that high point of the visit was the presentation of an award of excellence by the club to Comrade Godwin Archibong for his leadership accomplishments. Also, the secretary of the union, Comrade Arafat Nwibani, the state PRO, Comrade Anthony Ekpeyong, and the state trustee of the union, Susan Nelson, were present during the visit. On judicial matters, following the call-off of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria JUS on strike, the federal government has been urged not to allow a sensitive arm of government like the Judiciary to remain ineffective for such a long time, as its effects on the economy, livelihood and citizens of the country are overwhelming. Speaking with Planet News, constitution lawyer Barrister Aniefiok Ukpe said the call-off was a welcome development, though government should do all it can to forestall reoccurrence.
There is a proviso. They have called off the strike, saying that even as they are calling off the strike, the state government have not met their own conditions for this call-off, which was that government should transfer money from the federation account direct to the account of the National Judicial Council for disbursement to states. That has not been done. And they are saying if after 3 months that is not done, they will resume the strike. So this looks like a temporary suspension, but it's good because there is no way the other arms of government can function without the third one. Do you know the number of damages, the number of things that have happened in Nigeria within these 2 months? So I think government should not allow this kind of thing to happen.
According to Barrister Ukpe, the judiciary strike has in no little way affected persons who depend on the courts for their livelihoods and has badly hurt the judiciary's primary task of justice dispensation.
If it is government that is solving the problem, it is because of the meeting that they have had. That's why the solution is coming. So why do you delay? If you go to the police station, you see the number of crimes that have been committed, and the police station is overloaded. Okay, what about the lawyers? Some of them, they are dependent on courts for livelihood. But government should not allow such a sensitive arm of government Very, very sensitive. It's like you closing up. The National Assembly is not there. The president will not do anything. He will sit down there and start ruling the way he's ruling. So I think it's a welcome idea. We are happy that they are resuming so that the ordinary citizens should take benefit of whatever. There are some things you want to do. Sometimes you go to the bank says you must bring an affidavit. You have to wait.
Away from that, the National Population Commission (NPC) in Akwa Ibom State has concluded arrangements to commence pre-test data collection exercise in identified 4 local government areas of Oran, Ikorekbene, Onna, and Nsribom as part of the preparatory activities for the forthcoming population and housing census in Nigeria. This was disclosed to newsmen during a press conference on the commencement of fieldwork for the first pre-test for population and housing census held at the state capital, Uyo. The NPC's Federal Commissioner in Akwa Ibom State, Engineer Benedict Ukpe, who delivered the address, said the Commission had so far completed demarcation in 630 local government areas out of the 774 in the country in the mandatory enumeration demarcation exercise (EAD). Represented by the State Director of the Commission, Emmanuel Macron, the NPC Federal Commissioner described the pre-test exercise as a critical part of the census planning process.
Pre-test exercise is usually conducted before the completion of the enumeration area demarcation exercise. In essence, the pre-test exercise is a critical part of the census planning process, which provides the opportunity to test all aspects of the census program and instruments in advance of the main censal activities, thus ensuring the smooth operation and success of the census. As it is the tradition with the Commission, it has become imperative to start this important exercise with a press briefing.
The NPC boss appreciated the state governor Udom and other stakeholders for providing necessary support for the commission during the EAD exercise.
Particular mention must be made of the generosity of our state governor, His Excellency Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, the local government area chairman, the traditional rulers, security agencies, and even individuals in providing unquantifiable support and assistance to ensure that the EAD activity proceeds quite smoothly.
The State Commissioner for Economic Development and Ibom Deep Seaport Akanokon, represented by the Director of Statistics in the Ministry, Peter Akpan, commended the Commission in the state for being proactive in facilitating the pre-census activities in the state, while assuring of more collaboration of the state government with the Commission.
I want to commend the NPC for trying to follow the international standards in conducting a census. In conducting a census or a survey, you have the pre-test, the real census exercise, as well as the post-test. The aim of the pre-test for the conduct of census or survey is to enable those that design the instrument for data collection of this exercise to validate their instrument. So it is very, very important exercise.
A correspondent, Anthony SN, reports that also present during the press briefing was the Special Advisor, Bureau of Political and Legislative Affairs, Elder Amanam Nkanga. You are listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Let's take a breather and then bring in more from the foreign and sports scenes. Do stay with us.
Hit music. Brand new hits. New music. Trending and still banging.
Can't get enough of it.
Woo-hoo! On Planet 101.1 FM, Uyo.
Thanks for staying with us. And now on to the foreign scene, where French President Emmanuel Macron has said he would meet his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan ahead of next week's NATO summit after months of bitter exchanges between the two leaders. The pair have locked horns over a series of international crises, including Libya, Syria, and Nagorno-Karabakh. Macron has also warned that Turkey would try to meddle in France's 2022 presidential election. In sport, two-time Federation Cup champions Akwa United recorded an emphatic 3-1 victory over Heartland FC of Owerri on March the 26th of the Nigeria Professional Football League season at the Godwin International Stadium, also known as Nest of Champions, to reclaim the top spot on the log. Akwa United will next travel to Kaduna to engage second-placed Kano Pillars in what will be top-of-the-table clash on March day 27 this weekend. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM, Uyo. But before we go, a quick recap of the major stories. Akwa State Governor Udom Emmanuel has advocated the decentralisation of the police force as part of measures to curtail the rising insecurity in parts of the country. The Corporate Minds Club, Akwa State, have identified with the chairman and executives of the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, Akwa State Council, for the union's immense contributions to ensure effective healthcare delivery in the state. Following the call-off of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria's strike, the federal government has been urged not to allow a sensitive arm of government like the Judiciary to remain ineffective for such a long time, as its effects on the economy, livelihood and citizens of the country are overwhelming. On the foreign scene, we told you that French President Emmanuel Macron has said he would meet his Turkish counterpart Recep Tayyip Erdogan ahead of next week's NATO summit after months of bitter exchanges between the two leaders. And in sports, reported that two-time Federation Cup champions Akwa United recorded an emphatic 3-1 victory over Heartland FC of Owerri on March the 26th of the Nigeria Professional Football League season at the Godwin International Stadium. And that's the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM as edited by Anthony Essen. My name is Xavier Robert. We now bring you a spotlight on the 2-year scorecard of Honorable Idom, member representing Ukanafun Oroganam Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives.